Okay, so question 5 has some degrees and minutes built into it. We need to make sure that we remember how to deal with that. So if that is your struggle, you definitely need to write out how to obtain that. 35 degrees, 15 minutes is 35 full degrees, or 16 minutes. And a minute is a 60th of a degree. So you should just type that in your calculator like that. And I'm going to store that as A. But you want to change it over to a decimal. Now, technically, you can find the degree symbol in your calculator. So if you know where that is, you can avoid that step. I tend to think that this is better because I use the calculator more than you guys do, and even I don't remember where the minute button is in the calculator, but technically it is in there. You did the same thing with angle C, 112 degrees, and then 20 minutes. So I've got 112 full degrees, and a degree or a minute is 1/60th of a degree. So I would just plug this in my calculator, get the decimal, and I'm probably going to need this, so I'm going to store it as C. Again, if you guys are rounding here and using that rounded amount, your answer is going to get further and further away from where it needs to be. And sometimes you can lose a point or two from that. Okay, so I suspect switching over angle A and angle C is one thing you want to talk about. But then the next thing is, well, what law should we use? Law of cosines or law of sines? The law of cosines works for side, side, side. I don't know all three sides. And side, angle, side. Two sides in the included angle. Well, I don't even have two side lengths. So if it's not law of cosines, it must be law of sines. And law of sines can work with any two angles and a side. So if I'm trying to find side C, I would divide that by the sine of angle C. And then I could set that equal to B over the sine of B or A over the sine of A. But I don't know A, and that would be a big task in itself. I do know B. So I will put B over the sine of B. And I guess I don't know angle B either. But now that I know 2 of 3 angles of my triangle, it's just subtract those from 180. So finding the last angle is easy. Finding the last side is not necessarily as easy. So it looks like C will be 22.5 times the sine of what I stored in for angle C divided by the sine of 32.4. This was not rounded, so I don't have to store it. And so for C, 38.841. So again, even though the formulas will be provided for you, you have to recognize that law of cosines, you can try it if you want to, but you're wasting your time if you do that. Law of sines is the one that's going to work because I've got 2 angles and a side. I had to remember how to switch degrees, minutes, and seconds to decimal degrees, which is why we do that the first week of school, so that this is not another new concept on top of what we're currently doing. At least that part's review. I had to know all 3 angles add up to 180 to find the last one, and then just making sure my calculator's in degree mode and knowing how to plug it in got me to that answer.